Hey, this is Ryan Hyde, and this is my presentation on Module 4, which is using Web 2.0 skills in 21st century schools. I am on my Chromebook, and I'm using kind of a light version of their screencast. This is my third time going through it. I only have 10 minutes, so I'm not trying to rush, but I keep running out of time on like the fifth slide. So, okay, here we go quickly. My article summary. Basically, full Web 2.0 integration is tough. There's a lot of downfalls. There's a lot of reasons to not do it. These include lack of time, lack of money, lack of training, IT support, administrative support, school culture. There's a lot of reasons to not do this. That being said, the benefits of being able to fully integrate Web 2.0 into our schools are so great that we need to push past these barriers and still make it happen. Teachers need to be the IT leaders. We need to be the ones who are integrating this, and there's a lot of demands on teachers. So, some of these excuses are legitimate excuses, but the demands of the workforce in 21st century are going to require these skills. So as teachers, we need to pass these skills on. The future is at stake. We need to use every avenue we can to help our students be successful, and this is an avenue. The digital divide, can it be closed? Yeah, we do think it can be closed. Schools need to effectively integrate technology students already have into the learning process. Even at our school, it's a private school. It's smaller. It's close to 300 kids, K through 12. There are a handful of kids who don't have internet access at home, but they do have devices that can connect to the internet. How do we use these smartphones, these tablets, in a classroom setting that can help promote these 21st century skills, which we'll talk about in the next slide, while they're in school? So our lesson time needs to be quality. It needs to focus on these 21st century skills that Web 2.0 can provide. And again, the teachers sometimes have to be their own IT person. We can use YouTube videos or whatever, but we need to use the time we have available to help close this gap while we have them in class. All right, now we're ready. So 21st century students. 21st century students need to have a lot of skills. The article expanded on a lot of these skills. They're leaders. They're critical thinkers. They're flexible. With the devices they have now, all the cloud computing that goes on, they're able to be adaptable to different devices, different ways of doing a project, solving a problem. But again, they're flexible. They're productive. They're able to do work wherever they are. They should be able to collaborate, communicate, develop these skill sets. And again, being good digital citizens, being self-directed, use this skill set that's going to help them achieve more and be successful in the 21st century workforce. So the global economy and my internet use. I'll be quick on this slide. The first thing I thought about was less funding. It needs to equal more creativity in my application of technology. A lot of times when budgets get tight, things like technology funding will be cut. We need to use technology that we do have to its full potential. Sometimes, again, we need to fix our own technology. And I also thought of how localized tasks in this global economy are kind of now on a global scale. The workforce competition is not localized anymore. We had a administrative job that was open a couple years ago. We had an applicant from Dallas, Texas. We had an applicant from Vermont. It is a competitive global workforce. You're competing with people, realistically, all over the United States for some of these positions. So we need to use the internet to help develop personal skills that we're going to use to compete with others. Technology training. I don't think I know anything, 100%. We need to be lifelong learners. What I know I can do a better job in is the development of Google Apps in my classroom. We do have iPads, but I have not used the Google Apps. I haven't had training, before using them right now with Google Apps. So I'm excited to take this back to Calvary. But I'd like to know more about portfolio building. I'd like to know more how to better integrate my smartboard use, and not just a repetitive task kind of way, but help it to be more collaborative and just kind of a higher level of learning. And I'd like to know more about bring your own device programs. We don't have that at Calvary right now, but I think that would be be advantageous for us to develop. As CCS, technology has changed a lot in the last 5 years. This slide would have been much more depressing. But right now, we do have a nice computer lab for the students to use. We do have smart boards. We do have a wireless internet, a couple IT personnel. The high school, 9th through 12th grade, they do all receive their own iPad. This has been fantastic. We try and use these for some of these purposes that we're discussing: collaboration, content creation. But again, I think the development of open source technology it is really important for CCS. So, is Calvary equipped to teach 21st century skills to our students? Yeah, I think so. Do I think we can do a better job? Yeah, I think we can definitely do a better job of it. And again, I think the Google Apps, we either with our desktop computers or more through the iPads, could definitely be an easy way to make that happen. So advantages of Web 2.0. I just talked about how it's cost effective. A lot of this open source information is free or very little cost. You can collaborate. It's very flexible, like we said with the cloud computing. You're productive. Your work goes with you. The resources are practically endless. You got the internet at your fingertips. You got a wealth of information that you can use there. But I really like the knowledge creation that Web 2.0 offers over just the static websites. You're no longer just going to a website, reading it, and that's the end. You're interacting, you're creating, and I think that's a big advantage of Web 2.0. A disadvantage, we found it can be tough to rein the kids in when they're all on their own iPad. I use Air Server in my classroom, and usually if I'm doing an iPad activity or something, they can kind of beam their screens, just turn on Air Server. It'll show up on my computer screen in the front of the room, and while I'm going over some things, I can kind of keep an eye. I can see each of their screens individually, making sure, they're not on social media, they're not texting. We can track what they're doing, but still, it's just a quick swipe on an iPad and they're going to different apps. So, but it is safety of student information. Big companies are always trying to data mine and collect information on them that they can, that they probably don't want happening. Cyberbullying, we'll talk more on the next slide. Unwanted advertisements, that's always something. You do a search somewhere and you get some advertisement that isn't appropriate for school. Copyright infringement is another big one that you really have to be kind of proactive in teaching kids to not be cyber thieves and steal information that is copyrighted. So inappropriate use, cyberbullying. Now, I'm not an administrator, I'm a social studies teacher, so to my knowledge, it hasn't been a big issue. Now, I'm not naive enough to think that there hasn't been any, period. So we do have to kind of be proactive when it comes to cyberbullying and inappropriate use. We have to make sure our expectations are very clear from the beginning. We have to take a proactive use on this. The agreement that they sign with our IT guys at the beginning of the year to use our system allows our IT department to monitor all online usage while they're at the school. So that's another deterrent to help them from watching their conversations, not using the iPads inappropriately. So this has been my presentation, Web 2.0. I am more than willing to hear your read your comments, and I look forward to the rest of the class. All right, thank you.